first, let me do a little, how do I say, housekeeping. I will be out of the country for a good amount of time in the summer, and this most likely is going to be a yearly thing because I have a multicultural family. My husband is Greek and I am Chinese, and every summer, whenever possible, I try to take the kids to both of those countries to visit their roots, to see relatives. Yes, we still have family in both countries because I came here when I was 20 and my husband moved here when he was 5, but he still kept a very, very tight connection with his home country. My husband has a normal job, so he can't take as much time off. He will still join us for part of it in Greece, but he will not be going with us at the same time, and that's why I keep on saying I will be taking the children. It's going to be interesting. This is the first time ever I will be traveling with both kids by myself. We'll see how that goes. Currently, I am working on my own website. After just fiddling around with the Etsy store, though it is a great way to get traffic right away because nobody knows you, and Etsy already have the huge audience there just waiting there ready to buy stuff, and it's a very good way to start your business, get exposure. But at the same time, there are so many aspects just makes Etsy not a final destination for small business, at least in my opinion. There are all these extra fees, but also the limitation of how you can customize your storefront. But I have made the decision to bite the bullet, pay the price, and just deal with all these overhead and have my own site. I already have the domain secured. It's plantyoffish.com. Currently, if you go to this site, it's gonna say it's coming soon, it's not ready, so you don't have to rush to get there. But I am in the process of getting it up and running. I'm just gonna briefly touch on what I'm gonna do. First of all, I have this Hoya linearis sitting in front of me, looking very, very sad. And I can already see that this strain is dead at the, yep, I can just pull it out. Yeah, I keep on having issue with my linearis. Like it will be doing very good for a while because I don't know if you can see, like even this one here, it's still very perky and it was pushing out new growth, and we actually have a new growth on the tip there. And some of these other vines that are drooping now was doing well up until I would say a week ago. Like I tried semi-hydro with this plant, I tried chunky soil with this plant. It's just nothing seems to make it happy. And now I am dealing with a rot yet again. Like here, like this strain is absolutely gone. And not gone, I'm gonna try to save it. I already have a bunch of cuttings from this plant from yep, this one too, like the very, very sad, white hair, like rotted roots. So there are these two, and then the rest of it, I don't know. Like here, this one also has a little bit of a new growth on there. I'm not showing you very well, but you get the idea. It's struggling, it's just struggling. I need to figure out what to do with this plant today. Most likely, I'm just gonna, for the millionth time, chop it up all the way to the base and restart it. Because did I already mention, I already have a lot of cuttings from this plant when I was sort of seeing signs of it going downhill once again. So I took lots of cuttings and they are currently in my prop boxes. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm gonna do with this guy. But I almost ate it, oh my God. And quick mentioning of the pot I have it in. This is in my Edge self-watering pod, and the size I believe, yeah, this one is the 4-inch, and in the color matte, mint matte. It's like a very, very pale mint green, and it's the matte finish. But at the same time, what that means is, yep, my son is screaming. So I'm not going to keep his face in the frame, but this is my baby, my little monster. And I want to show something real quick. Can you say cookie? No? What's this? Cookie. Say cookie. No! Oh my God, are you camera shy? You're not. You say cookie. A day. Okay, that's cute too. Can you say cookie?
Cookie.
All right, thank you. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. All right. All right, I'm gonna go play with this little guy. So I'm back. Right now, this room is again very noisy. I apologize in advance. I've been trying to catch up with all of the 3D print order, and I actually I have a lot of like dirty stuff on my arm. It's from trying to fix one of my printer. I actually was one printer down for the past few days, and yeah, these Linares pieces has been sitting here for way too long than they should. But at this point, I'm just moving pots all over the place. At this point, doesn't even matter anymore because I think what I'm gonna do is cut up this whole plant. I already chopped off a lot of this plant and they're in a water propagation vessel. Let me go quickly grab that and my scissor. I am not the most organized these days. Oh yeah, I haven't worn my Plenty of Fish shirt in a while. So it's kind of a nice change to wear it for once. I am using this scissor that I use for my fish tank because I packed away my plant scissor. Since I am in the middle, my entire family, we are in the middle of preparing to move. I'm just gonna talk and start chopping off this plant. It's sad that it's just like, I don't know how many times I've chopped it up. There are a few plants that do this for me. One is the Linares, one is the Polynera outer variegated. I also chopped up this plant multiple times. And yeah, so as I was saying, we're in the middle of moving or prepping for moving. And we are, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned the reason behind it and just a little bit of, information without sharing too much. And because of that, I have a lot of plant stuff to pack up, including my 3D printing shop stuff. And I already put away so much plant supplies or tools in there are lots of boxes over there. I'm just looking right at it. Yeah, so I don't have everything I usually use, but this will work just fine. And any scissor would do, honestly. And this is, aquascaping scissor, so also works for plant. Okay, let me take this. This piece has a little bit of roots left. No, the roots fell off. But it has some at the top. That's interesting. So this piece here, I don't know if you can see, it has a little bit of roots still attached at the top here. So I'm gonna cut off this bottom section that's bare or look a little like black and keep that roots on there. Honestly, oh my God, no, it rotted off. Is this one okay? Okay, there's one survivor. It's really hard to see. There's one survivor here. Yeah, it's a little better against my black shirt. This is the only surviving root on it. I'll take that. With this plant, yeah, like I said, I don't know why it just keeps on rotting on me. I've tried many different substrate. I might have already mentioned that. And I'm gonna take out these two leaves to give it a little bit more like, stem to root. I tried semi-hydro and I tried soil once before too. When I first got this Linares, this one's too short, I'm not keeping it. When I first got this Linares, it was in soil. So it started out as a soil plant. And when it first rotted, I transitioned it to semi-hydro because, I rooted it in water. And then just, it was very straightforward going from water roots to semi-hydro. I don't have any roots left on this plant, pretty much. Like 90% of the roots are gone. Like, see these wispy little white hair thing that I talked about before? Yeah, this ring light makes it very hard for me to see myself in the viewfinder, but oh God, why does this plant hate me? Do you have a Linares and what's your experience with this plant? I've heard two extremes from lots of people. Some said, and actually quite a lot of people say that this plant is very easygoing and super low maintenance. But also, on the contrary, a lot of people also say that they have a hard time keeping their Linares alive. So I don't know what's the deal with this plant. That's a lot of soil for that, for no roots at all. Like these, no roots. And I do have the other cuttings I've taken before, and they are in this standard size opening mason jar. And what I'm using in it is actually one of my own Proppy. And this product has 4 different styles. The one I'm using is the standard one. I call it Turtle. And then there's also Mermaid, Snake, and Bubbles. And these are made to fit the opening of standard mason jars. So, you know, your propagations don't flop all over the place or fall out. And I find them especially useful when propagating like a smaller stem Hoyas like this, because like the mason jar opening, let me just take it out real quick. See, and you can take all of your cuttings out like this with the Proppy on it. It makes everything a lot more organized and easier, itchy nose, for handling. So yeah, the mason jar opening is quite big. So imagine all of these tiny little stems have to sit in it. I can, unless you have a ton of them squeezed in there, you kind of have to have the stems all squeezed together for them to be stabilized, right? But if you don't have that for these kind of cuttings, a propagation support like that will be very useful. So yeah, I have this designed for that purpose. Now I'm gonna put more into this propagation vessel. I don't know if I want to keep a few of these vines just long as it is. Not even sure if it's gonna be able to survive. You know what? I'll keep a few of them long and see how it goes. What's going on with this one? Yeah, I have so many cuttings in here and I just don't even know how many of them are gonna make it. See, the sad part is it was doing so good for a while. This one I might need to throw out. Like it had a lot of new growth. This one had a new growth, but now these new growth are just dead and I'm not gonna keep this piece. There's not much stems left to work with anymore. Fallen leaves everywhere. It's just so sad. And let me show you maybe one more. And this one here also had these itty bitty new growth before. And then it was pushing out, yeah. And then there's that one too. If you can't see it, just trust my words. There were tons of new growth coming from multiple different vines. I'm still, you know, seeing more as I'm looking through the cuttings. But all of a sudden, one day, it just decided to unalive itself. That's kind of my experience with Linearis in general. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And I guess right now, all I can do is just cut it up, start all over again, which is not the worst thing. That's one thing I do like about the plant hobby is you can always, almost always start over, though it takes time, but that kind of is also where the fun lies, right? I really do like rehabbing plants, starting over, and enjoy the process of growing it from almost nothing. Yeah, so that one, like look at these nice long vines. It was looking so good and all the leaves are looking very plump and healthy, but then all of a sudden this happens. I don't know. I'm not even sure if this is gonna work on these longer vines, the water propagation. I think I'm repeating myself because yeah, this situation definitely stressed me out a lot. Especially when I'm about to go on the international trip that I probably mentioned already. I will be gone out of the country for probably a month and a half to 2 months. And yeah, this is kind of the worst time to do rehab. Or maybe it's the best time, because if I have them in propagation and I close this whole thing in, put this whole thing in a concealed bin, to prevent water evaporation, I might not need anyone to refill the water. And also, if you don't know about me yet, I am a chronic, what's the word? Chronic plant toucher. I can't think of a better word. I can't leave my plants alone. I can't leave my propagations alone. I always want to mess with them, touch them. So this one just has very tiny, skinny leaves, and I don't think it's gonna work in propagation. And I have so much to propagate, I'm giving up on this one. Sorry. It's okay to throw plants away. It's okay to throw cuttings away. What was I saying? Yeah, I'm very bad at not leaving my propagations alone, especially. So being away from them while they root might be the best thing for them. And I really hope when I come back from the trip, I'll be welcomed by a whole new water root system to restart this plant. And this time, I'm not even gonna try to sell any cuttings because I just want a full lawn draping Linarius. Why? Why are you doing this to me? I'm not asking for too much. Like, it is just so hard to see other YouTubers Linarius looking so great. All these YouTubers have great looking Linarius while mine is back in the water again. Like, I don't know. Like, can you tell me what am I doing wrong? Like, if you have bad and good experience with Linarius, or if you've had bad experience and you somehow figured your Shih out, can you tell me what you did to make it work in the end? Because like, other than restarting, cutting it up, I don't know what else to do with this plant. Okay, so, well, consider the first plant chore done. This one was the printer that was giving me attitude, and this is the good behaving little, let me see, is this one okay? God, okay, I need to wait for the temperature to rise again. Where is my thing? Okay, this one goes here. I'm not doing anything about this one, by the way. It's just sitting by me. My royal flush, like here, I have 3 clusters of them close to each other. And I have to say the royal flush has the nicest scent out of all the Hoyas I own, or at least I've experienced blooms. And yeah, my royal flush looks a little different than what I've been seeing on other people's channel. Like, I have some of these vines that I would say they kind of reverted and lost all the silver, but they look really, really dark and purple. And then I still do have some of these vines that were sitting in highlight that's almost completely covered in silver. So at this point, I don't even know what this plant is supposed to look like. I just know that it's one of my oldest Hoya, and it's super easy to grow, and it never ever complains, even I let it go bone dry. So thank you for putting up with me when I forget that you're sitting up high in the hanging pot. Yeah, that's a problem with having plants in a hanging pot, is it's very easy to forget to water them. Let me put this one back up there. I have it right next to me. Like I said, I want to show the flower, but also I was taking it down to water because I walked by this Anthurian alocasia shelf. I was like, oh my God, I completely forgot this. It's been weeks. This is my beloved, let me try to pronounce the name again, Solanum ulianum, and it's a type of nightshade. It's such a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. And then, despite what people might tell you, how this plant requires high humidity, it is not hard to grow. I don't do much about it. I just kind of fill the water reservoir whenever it's dry, or whenever the leaves look like it's unhappy. So right now, the leaves are slightly unhappy looking, because I just watered it maybe 2 hours ago, and it still takes some time for the leaves to perk back up. This plant is really, really, really thirsty, and take my words for that, that you do not want to assume that you put enough water in there. It's never enough water for this one. And but if you just keep it fed with water all the time, this plant grows like weed. Like, it just like grew all these little new growth everywhere along the vine. It branches out on its own. You don't need to prune or do anything to encourage that. And I have taken so many cuttings from this plant already. And currently, I actually had to put it on a trellis. It's very hard to see because it's a black trellis, the one with the ring holographic on it. Can you see that? Yeah, it's inside there. Maybe you can see a little bit. Yeah, there you go. So it's the Polynera trellis, again from my own enchanted trellis collection. And I put the trellis on it because it was getting too long and it was really hard for me to take this plant down to water it or to just handle this plant in general. And something funny I noticed is after I put it on this trellis, she reminds me of a singer that sadly passed away. Yeah. So her name now is Amy. Yeah, so it kind of just reminds me of her hairstyle. And the other thing I want to talk about regarding this plant is the planter it is in. This is one of my new tall planter that I made. So this is still in the edge style, but it's in a taller shape. And I believe this one is the 5.5 inch tall pots. Yeah, this is the clear insert I use for this particular tall model. So what I'm gonna be using for my self-watering pot, the tall collection, is the 3.9 as the 3.9 is the smallest, and 4.7 the second one, and then 5.5, and then the largest one I currently don't have it here with me because I packed it away. The largest one is gonna be the 7 inch. Oh yeah, I get to show you my new little gadget. So the credit goes to Wild Fern again. I don't think this is the exact same model that she uses, but I definitely got the inspiration from her to try out this product to water my plants. Let me tell you, it's game changing. The one I have is a 2-gallon one because I don't really want to have anything heavier than this every time I need to water my plant. I don't need that kind of workout when I do my plant chore. This is heavy enough for me, and I'm quite happy with the 2-gallon volume. It's been working well, and I just really like taking this around with me to water my plants. You go just click like that, and you water it. This also makes me feel more motivated to water my plants. I just really got tired of having, you know, these gallon jugs of nutrient water, and every time I water my whole plant collection, I have to pour water out of that into my watering can multiple times, making lots of trips back and forth between, you know, the plants and the water jug. It's not fun. And I like just carrying this around with me and water all of my plants in one sitting. And usually the 2-gallon lasts for all of my plants because honestly, right now, the size of my collection feels a lot more manageable and I feel quite happy with it. I'm sitting at around 80 plants right now, and I think that's a pretty healthy collection size for me. I had these silk color changing material, the dual color silk material before, and then when I was trying to work on these and send some to Anna's plants because she really liked these and she picked a few different ones, they didn't work out for me. I was using a different brand. The material was inconsistent with the print quality, so I kind of just did an emergency unplugging of these material and pulled them from my site completely and stopped making them until I can figure things out. Luckily, I'm able to figure it out, and I found the materials that actually work well, and I'm able to get them to print pretty consistently. And now I'm adding a lot more of them because they are working for me now. So now I have a whole new collection of silk material. I think all of them are multicolor, dual color like this way. You know, you have one color on this side, one color on this side, and as you turn it, you can see the colors different. This is the purple blue dual color silk. Look at that shine. And in order to get this shine, it doesn't always print this way. That's one of the things I had to figure out how to achieve. In order to get this shine, you have to print very, very hot and very, very slow. And that is why the silk option is probably gonna be slightly more expensive than the standard color. So I just wanna quickly show you this one. I'm very excited to add all of these silk materials to my color option. I am going to talk about one of the tricolor silk, and the plant I want to mention just happens to be sitting in there too. So this is my Polynera, the green form Polynera. I don't know why the leaves are feeling a little soft again. But in general, this plant is doing much, much better than my variegated version. You can see it's a lot better. It's a lot bigger and it has a lot more new growth. And I definitely prefer leaving this plant in a darker, slightly darker, not completely dark, okay? Slightly darker corner with more diffused light because that makes the leaf a lot darker. Like you can see that I like the darker color on this foliage. Let me just check on this plant real quick. I think it's okay. I don't know why the leaves feel kind of soft. I recently watered it. I think what happened was I waited too long to water this one, and it's still taking its time to bounce back from the underwatering. I really need to get better at that, especially I have everything in self-watering pot. And that is why I did put this into a new pot. That's right, that's another thing I did to it. See, I can never keep my hands off of my plants. So I did put it into a slightly bigger pot with, the self-watering system, because I find the Polyneura to be a little more on the thirsty side of things. Let me just temporarily use this messed up pot as a holding vessel while I show you this one. So this is the tricolor I was talking about, the tricolor silk. My favorite silk, absolutely. Just look at how it shines. Even though it is technically a tricolor, I'm calling this one a rainbow color because you can honestly see the full spectrum of rainbow on it, right? And yeah, look at the shine. If I turn it real quick, oh my God. All right, back to this one. Let me put it back into its beautiful rainbow silk cover pot. And yeah, I think this plant just needs a little bit more time to bounce back from the underwatering. And I just kind of want to quickly show you this plant and pot pairing and tell me what do you think. Oh, one thing really fun about keeping them in these tricolor pots is based on my mood every day, I can just turn the pot to show different colors. And in my opinion, they all look great. Nice. Oh yeah, I have Anthurium struggling right now. This is my Forgetii. Look at this yellow leaf. I don't understand what's going on with it. Because if you look at the root system, it's doing really, really well. It's like coming out of the bottom, and this one needs watering too, but I don't know why this one just yellowed so much. I already cut off the original leaf it came with, and this was actually a new growth since I got this Forgetii, and now it's yellowing off. But I do see signs of the next leaf coming in. Since the roots are doing fine, I think we should just leave it be and not mess with it. But I am going to quickly add some water. Nope, no more top watering. God, this is so satisfying, watering with this, honestly. Look at this guy. I got a legit Delta Force, okay? And if you watch one of my previous video when I was talking about the other plant I had that was supposed to be a Delta Force, in the end I never figured out what it was. It could possibly be a pterodactyl or some sort of hybrid of sorts, but I never find out what it was supposed to be. And that was the Anthurium that got the thrips infestation that I posted on my Instagram. Yeah, I posted a short video clip of me waking up to finding that plant with its last leaf. Yes, it also lost all of the previous leaf. Was its last leaf hanging on for dear life, and there are these thrips larvae just crawling. They're just crawling the entire leaf. And luckily, the only plant that was next to it was a Dorayaki, and I checked that plant thoroughly. At least so far, there's nothing, and both of those plants were up on the TV shelf, very like on top of the TV on a floating shelf far away from the other plants. And then I didn't see any adult thrips. I don't know, like thrips are just things that, in my opinion, they will keep coming back to your collection no matter how well you think you are maintaining your plant's health, because we have thrips outdoors. If you leave your windows open, adult thrips can fly in, lay eggs, and you might not notice it until a month later when your plant's, infested with little baby thrips. Anyway, I am completely over the stage of freaking out about thrips because I'm like, oh yeah, thrips. I need to deal with them. They are annoying. They're very annoying, but at the same time, kind of fun to deal with. Am I crazy for saying that? I do like getting beneficial bugs to deal with them because it's just the laziest way, in my opinion, to deal with them. And it's not everybody, but for me, it's kind of fun to release little bugs, little creatures into your house. Yeah. So yeah, I'm talking about this Delta Force, and look at how great it's been doing. This is its newest leaf. It definitely sized up since it's been in my care. When I first got it, I think, yeah, these were the original leaves, all of these. And this was the leaf that it put out after I got it. And the characteristic, everything is looking just like what Delta Force is supposed to be. And I can imagine as it matures more, the shape will become more Delta Force-y. So yeah, very, very, very excited about this plant. And look at these leaves, like the sinus, the almost flat sinus. That's, yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous plant. And currently I do see, wait, is that a new leaf? No, that's not. I need to stop messing with it. I think that's just a sheesh from the last new leaf. And yeah, it has a pretty tall stem. And after this plant grow a little more, I don't know, probably after I come back from the vacation, I do have the plan to move this into a, ooh, okay, root porn. Who's here for more root porn from my anthuriums? This is crazy, okay? I've only had this plant for what, a month or so? Oh my God. Yeah, it needed to be repotted. I might not even be able to wait till after I come back from the trip, because from the last repot that I did on camera, but you've never seen, it's really hard to get these thick anthurium roots out of these inserts once, you know, they really grow into it. So yeah, maybe later tonight, after we eat, I'm gonna come back and finish a few repots, and this is gonna be one of them. And my plan was to actually put it into one of these taller pots. Let me just decide on the size real quick. I think this should be okay, right? This is the 4.7 inch. I don't want to go too big. Oh, there you go. Kind of preview. I know it will outgrow it very quickly, but I still don't want to go too big too quick. So yeah, after that, I'm gonna do this. And at the same time, I need to figure out which cover pot to use for this. I might need to print a new one since I'm already printing some I'm already test printing some of the new materials. I think I'm gonna use it to print this one. I'm gonna think about the color on this. Maybe one of the silk. Exciting, yeah. Okay, so this is the repot project I'm setting aside. The last plant I want to mention is actually also a plant I think might need repotting, is for a different reason. Actually, my kids just came out of the room. I think I'm gonna do the rest of it tonight. Let me first wiggle myself into the spot. I am back from dinner and, you know, with my husband's help putting the kids to sleep, and now I'm back in front of me. It's a bigger mess than I left it because I moved a few plants into this room because I want to kind of address them. Before I move on, I don't want to forget this one. It's my purpley. Well, don't be concerned when you see this droopy leaf. It's the oldest leaf. It's about time that it's gonna go. The most important thing here is we finally have a new growth that's a leaf. It's coming, it's on the way, it's unfurling. I have been very careful not to mess with it. And I don't know if you can see just how purple it is when it first came out. And then the tip has this almost like a silver, a layer of silver covering the purple, make it look almost like a lavender. That is such a cool color. And these two are the original leaves. So when yeah, and I think that one might be, I can't even remember. Yeah, that one's the largest leaf this plant has, and it has the most dramatic silver overlay kind of effect. And I notice it's starting to look less and less purple as the new leaf come out, which is to be expected. I really, really, really love this purpley. And I don't know why this is not more popular. Like, look at this intense purple on the back, okay? The reason why I want to bring up this new leaf is because, because before this plant was only pushing out inflows after inflows. Are they called inflows too? Yeah, just the flowers. And when I first got this plant, the person that sold it to me, I could tell they already cut off 2 flower stalks because I could see what's remaining on there. And after I replanted and everything was going well, I also harvested quite a lot of corms, and I sold a lot of those plantlet already. I think I sold maybe 3 of them already. Yeah, they sprout easily. The corms are huge, those really big ones, kind of similar to my Regal Shield, and they're very fast to sprout and very fast to size up and grow. I still have 1 more. I don't think I've listed it yet because I'm about to go on vacation, so I'm gonna list that one after I come back. And I have a feeling it already has more corms in there. This plant behaves a lot like my Regal Shield in terms of the corm production. Yeah, so I really love this plant. And then after I started caring for it, in my care, it also pushed out at least 2 flowers back to back. So including the previous 2, the previous owner, the seller cut off, that was 4 flowers in a row. So when this new growth came out, I was really concerned it's going to be another flower. And then I'm so glad to see this time it's finally a leaf. I'm not sure if this one's going to size up to be as big as this leaf. We will see. Even if it's not, it's okay. It went through a period of flowering nonstop, so it probably is not going to make the most amazing leaf. And as long as it's growing, I'm pretty happy. And then today, since we're on camera, we're gonna retire this old leaf together. It's been a good journey with you, and it's time for you to just say goodbye. Time to say goodbye. As if that wasn't dramatic enough. So yeah, very decent sized leaf. Say bye-bye. Bye-bye. All right, so we retired that leaf together, and then I just want to quickly show you. Oh my God, it's dry and needs some water at the bottom. So I noticed one thing about allocation. Oh, yep, there is a corm. There is a corm on the top part there. I am not going to mess with it. Just give me a second to take a quick look. That's one. And if there's one that big on the side, I'm pretty certain there are more. I don't want to drop it. And this one's slightly reflective, so it's right here. I hope it's catching it on the camera with all that reflection. Yeah, so this is also a very corm happy alocasia. And I need to, it's too heavy. Sorry, I'm gonna top water this one. It's okay, it drinks up the water so fast. I just can't lift that insert. And now we can address the elephant in the room, my Frydek. It's not doing bad because all of these 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves are new leaves that's grown in the last, I would say, 2 months. So growing speed-wise, it's doing great. But did you notice the leaves just getting smaller and smaller? This isn't growing in my cabinet, and it gets tons of grow light and it gets a lot of humidity. And though I'm very sad about what I'm about to do, I think I'm tired of staring at this leaf that's starting to yellow. Like some of you, I don't know if anyone's gonna get mad at me for doing all these leaf retiring ceremonies, but I just feel like these leaves are a burden on the plant. And also, it makes the plant very, very heavy on one side. It just doesn't grow upright. So let's just rip the Band-Aid. So there you go. Came off so easily. Such a pretty leaf. I hope it continues to grow leaves like this. So yeah, so now the rest of it look more uniform. And variegation wise, all of the new leaves that I was able to grow in my care look pretty decent. But These newer growth does have a slightly minty tone to the white part rather than the highly creamy color. But I did grow this one though. This one has a very creamy white. And this newer leaf look very different than the rest of it, the variegation. Like these has all of these like splotches or splashes. I don't know how to describe it. Like these, you know, little details. But this newer one is like a very big chunk of color and it looks very minty rather than white. But it's pretty. And oh my God. And again, this is a happy corner. There is one that's being pushed to the surface of the substrate. I am not gonna mess with it. I already have like 4 or 5 baby frydek growing at the same time now. So now looking at this, the size of the leaves, this pot looks really big, right? Yeah, I know we're not supposed to look at the size of the plant. We're supposed to look at the size of the root system. Well, I think the root system is also pretty underwhelming compared to the size of this thing. Why did I put it in such a big pot? I believe when I put it in there, the roots were really taking off and I was expecting it to keep on growing in that direction and not slowing down. So I kind of upsized it a little, maybe a little too big and possibly shocked the plant. So again, this is going to be a downsize. Okay, let's get to the good part or the bad part. And yeah, that, oh my God, there are multiple corms. Are we taking them out? I don't really feel like doing it. Wow. Okay, just double checking I am not leaving any corms or good stuff in there. Yeah, a little bit of roots broke off. Oh, what am I doing? I brought gloves, but I didn't put it on. Great. Well, it's good I didn't dig my hands in the substrate. Okay. I don't think there are any actual root rot going on in this plant substrate. Doesn't seem like so. I like to do a little sniff testing. Smells pretty fresh. And trust me, you cannot fake it. If there's a root rot and you smell it, there's no way you can keep a straight face like this. They smell really bad if they're rotting. Okay, seems like there's nothing else in there. I believe I can just reuse this substrate, no problem. I believe this is honestly just a too big of a pot situation and some sort of shock that the plant went through. Okay. Don't wanna, I know I don't wanna shock the plant too much, but I do see some, okay. So seems like there was some underwatering. It's possible it happened during one of those heat wave randomly happened at the end of winter. We had a few weeks. Is it technically a heat wave? Well, I call it heat wave because winter is not supposed to be that hot. And there were a couple weeks it was consistently so hot and I was still, you know, my habit is still my plant care habit or routine, whatever you call it, was still the same winter one. Like I don't have a schedule, but I got into a certain, that's a lot of, do you see that? These are all dry rot. You can tell it's dry rot because they're not they don't look like those, like the transparent brownish rotted roots. They look kind of just empty, like you know, there's no substance in there. And then when you water it again, the dried up bits just rotted. Yeah. I don't know how to explain that. It's just there's a visual difference between a dry rot versus a typical root rot. So yeah, there are definitely some roots that has rotted off because of due to underwatering. So that's on me. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4 corms at this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, at this time I think I'm gonna leave them on there because plugging corms is also pretty stressful for alocaceous. Yeah, this bit is very typical dry rot. I lost that entire ball of roots. So I'm trying to show you. These roots were empty before they rotted off. So there's nothing in the center. They're like empty tubes That's why they don't have a lot of those mushy stuff inside. It's just a shell. I think that's the way to describe it. It's like dehydrated shell, and then the shell just rotted off. So yeah, this is what dried rot looks like. So at least we kind of pinpointed what happened, and it's good we took the plant apart like this. Though it's stressful for it, but I think it's better we take care of this before I leave for my trip and come home to, you know, something even more catastrophic. With all of these stuff sitting in there, you just never know. It could actually turn into a worse rot and take out the entire root system. So most of it happened to the secondary root system, meaning the finer bits. Yeah, that's another dried up piece. I just feel like also with this wick inside, am I using the correct wick for it? You know what? I have a feeling I used the wrong wick. Is this the 5-inch or 6-inch? No, that's the 5-inch. It's not the 6-inch. Yeah, I think I might have stick the wick too low, so it's not drawing water all the way up. I'm not sure because there's a lot of sign of underwatering, but I don't remember I was underwatering this plant so bad. So, well, we're gonna have to see. Uh-oh. That was not intentional. A corm broke off, so it's still very green. So it's like a baby little corm. Well, since it broke off, I'm gonna try to propagate it, but I'm not going to touch the other ones. At least not right now. At some point, when you grow bigger and stronger. Yeah, another piece of dried rot. I'm just trying to take off all of these dried rot. Some of them don't look like they're rotting, they're just dried up and they're just empty shells, like I said. Yeah, like here, I don't even think this part was touching any of the water. They look bone dry, even with water still at the bottom of this. That's not a good sign. Like I have other plants in the same self-watering pot and they don't have this problem. Like I have the anthuriums, they don't have this problem. Okay, the rest of it looks pretty good. Wow, it looks so much cleaner. Look at this big chunky stem with all these little points ready to grow into some new roots. Yeah, okay, looking pretty nice, but I don't think it's gonna fit in this, though it is good news that it's bigger than smaller. So yeah, the shape of this insert just looks so much better for this root system. It's very long and the stem is really long. So I think everything should fit really well in there. Just for visual comparison, the next size up would be this. And I think even though lengthwise it looks almost like this could be good for it too, I just think that would be the same mistake as I made before. And this even, I think it's even bigger in terms of volume than the other one. So yeah, I'm not gonna let my eyes trick me again. I think this one's fine. Is that a corm? Did another one fall off? Yeah. Okay. Only 2 more left on there. Yeah, so the other one fell off too. Well, I don't really think this one's gonna grow. It's very small. It's like a little tooth, like a baby tooth, not baby tooth, like a human tooth at a crime scene. Okay, so let me, how do I set you? Just lay you down very gently. What I also want to do this time is I'm starting to adding some jumbo perlites into my ponds again to add more aeration. I have a feeling that my pond is too dense or too heavy. I think all the ponds are kind of like this, but I want to try out adding more lightweight stuff that's chunky and airy to help with aeration. I'm gonna have to put on the mask temporarily. I'm not a germaphobe. This is not because of germ, it's because of the dust. Like these jumbo perlites are just so huge, but just like any other perlite, they're very dusty. I don't like wearing masks indoors or in general. God, during COVID, I suffered so much wearing that, and I was pregnant during COVID. Anyway, we're not gonna talk about that era ever again. I'm done with it. Done. So I'm just gonna kind of mix them on this mat. I recently, not recently, I've been watching this YouTuber, I don't remember, I think Sprout and Pour. If I said it wrong, it's this guy that's super cool, has all these cool looking alocasias and therians, and he also 3D prints some plant supplies. So I'll put his stuff or his channel name right here. See, I'm already breathing hard. He has some cool stuff too, and I think he printed his own planters as well. He said that he actually started using just pure pumice as semi-hydro substrate, and it totally works because, you know what, he also mentioned this. Latruza came out with a variation of the pond mix, which is called monopond. What it means is there's only one ingredient in it, which is pumice. So I guess we can grow things semi-hydro in just pumice. But I've tried it before, like using these kind of chunky big pumice. My problem with using pure pumice is it's so lightweight and they float. And sometimes when it causes some inconvenience, like the plant doesn't want to stay down and the substrate will start to float when you water it. And I don't know, it's just, I personally didn't have the best experience with that. So I tried it once on one plant and I never did that again. And that plant is now in just regular pond mix. So I think what I'm doing here is almost like a half and half, like half of the original mix with half of chunky perlite. And the original mix adds the weight that I wanted to have. And the chunky perlite adds the aeration I need. And also from the same guy, I learned to spread the roots a little bit when you shove them into a new pot. Like, I don't know exactly how to spread them, but just kind of, what I like to do is I spread the roots kind of with my fingers like this, I'm not telling dad jokes, okay? Somehow I mentioned that just made it worse. Okay, so spread the kind of like that with the finger. What am I doing? I have the scoop here and I'm just using my hand. Oh, well, I'm too lazy. I don't want to bend down to pick up the scoop. I don't know what that was supposed to be. So I kind of buried the plant a little deeper into the insert, if you can see, like this whole chunk here, right here, have all these activation point. What are they called? Auxiliary point. I'm putting them lower, like underneath this line, so they will be in contact with the substrate. So new roots can start growing. Did I break anything? I hope not. Well, that's the last thing I need, is to break something. We're almost ready to take off my mask. I'm really done with wearing this mask. Wow, this pot feels so much lighter already, weight-wise. I can, you know what, now I'm thinking I can imagine what the root system must be feeling before. Oh, I can't breathe. I can finally breathe again. If they're so heavy, they must be weighing on them so much and make it hard to breathe. And I think that's the biggest difference I noticed between a alocasia root system and an Anthurium root system. Anthurium doesn't seem to care about any of that. It just grows very happily because they're just much chunkier. It seems like they're stronger. They're able to push themselves through the heavy substrate. So yeah. Okay, this looks pretty good. I think proportion-wise, this makes more sense. And I like using the tall insert for this plant since the root system was longer and also the stem was kind of long above the substrate line before. So yeah, I am not going to stick with this cover pot most likely, but for now, or even for a while, this is gonna totally be fine. And I am just going to put in some water because it's new, kind of new substrate. I'm gonna water it from the top. And I'm not rinsing this one because all the pond mix were from before, they were already rinsed, and it's just the perlite is slightly dusty, but it's not as dirty as pond. In pond, you can really see a lot of dirty stuff coming out when you rinse them, but perlite is kind of just tiny bit dusty. Yeah, it still looks kind of grayish, but Yeah, I'm still gonna dump this water out because it's dirtier than I expected. Ew. Okay, I was wrong. It is dirty. I'm gonna rinse off the bottom a little bit. And also when I have the waterproofing layer at the bottom, it makes it easier to rinse it off. Yeah. Ah. Okay, now I'm gonna put in a bit more water. It's just so nice to be able to water like this. Ah! And now I got water on myself. So yeah, so here is the Alocasia Frydek, freshly downsized, and hopefully it's gonna start growing well again. It's not like it was growing bad, it's just we kind of treated or caught the dry rot issue just in time, I think. And where did those two corms go? God, where did they go? Oh yeah, we're gonna look at this root system a little bit on this guy. I'm gonna put these substrate on the side because I'm not sure if these are healthy and okay to use. I don't know, what do you think? Does it look healthy to you? Or does it look kind of meh? I think it looks kind of okay at the top here, right? It looks white, green, but at the bottom, that's when it starts to look a little iffy. Let's do a sniff test. It's not bad, but it doesn't smell fresh. It has a smell. I think it's like the beginning of root rot. Am I like a dog? I'm able to smell root rot stages. Yeah, they're a little bit of rot, and it's kind of a weird combination of dry rot and just root rot. I don't know. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm not gonna pretend that I know everything. I don't even know what I'm dealing with. And I noticed something is on this side of the stem, it appears to be, I don't know, like where roots used to be, but seems like all the roots on this side had rotten off at one point, and on this side, we still have the roots. It's just kind of what it looks like to me. Oh, God. Yeah, see, this is also like a lot of very fine secondary roots just not making it. I really want to grow a huge Alocasia dragon scale. I've always just loved the shape of this plant, especially when it grows big and large. The YouTuber that made me want to buy this plant was Melissa. Her dragon's breath is just so gorgeous. I don't even know if I'm ever going to be able to achieve that. I'll try. And yeah. Oh yeah, she also has the most beautiful regal shell elbow. Anyway, that's off topic. This is the root system on it. These are all the clean roots I'm able to keep on there. I got all of the, the rotten parts off, and this is what's left. I don't think it's a bad rot either. It looks also more like, I don't know, just dry rot, or just, when the bottom was, the finer secondary roots were touching the water, they just start to die off. And yes, I think this is way too big for that. This was a 3-inch one. There are two ways we can do this. I can either put it in a cutie pot, the 2 and 5-inch, or I can put it into a corm cup, the prop corm. Let me go get one of each and see which size looks better. This is actually an old cutie pot that I haven't even cleared out. Has some, yeah, just some. Can just use it like this. And this is just a clear one, the clear translucent one. This is the, yeah, anyway, I'm gonna mix these together too. So we can either use this size, the 2.5, which in this case, I don't know, it still kind of looks a little too big for this, right? Like the roots are not the smallest, but also it's mostly very fine secondary roots and very little of these thicker ones. Yeah, even the 2.5-inch looks a little too big. Though when you put it in here, if you look at the size of the leaf, that might make sense, but we have to base it on the root size. And then the second option is to use a prop corm. And I actually quite like this option because I did print a color shifting silk material. I did use a color shifting silk material to print this one. This is the blue teal color shifting one, the dual color one. Yeah, looks like this might be it. Like right here. Yeah, that looks more appropriate for it. Gosh, we went all the way down. What the just happened? What? Did you see what happened? This whole root just broke off. Oh my God, this whole thing. I guess it was just fragile already. God, well, now we only have this much to work with. Was it my fault or it was already falling off? It's too late anyway. God, this plant really just wants to unalive itself. Like, why do you hate life so much? Tell me. Your name is Dragon's Breath, okay? You're supposed to be epic. You're supposed to be this divine creature that's epic and breathes fire, but you are constantly trying to fire yourself from life. Oh, well, move on. I'm just gonna put it in this chunkier mix. I'm not even gonna try the Fruval route. Every time I rehab them in that, and I have to do a transition from that to the pot mix, and the transition always kill the entire process and set me back to step one. I am not giving up on this plant. I have a feeling this time it's gonna work because it's in a cute pot. Look how cute it is in this.
2 days later, thrips were found on this plant and the last leaf had to be cut off. Ouch! More on that in a later video.
You better grow. I'm gonna give it just a smidge of water. Don't want to drown it in there. Do want to give it just a little bit of water. And of course, this is go right back into my cabinet.
Well, it did start growing again after the thrips crisis was dealt with.
Next morning.
Well, I think this might be the last one, if I'm right, the Delta Force. And we have decided that we are going to use this size for it. Yeah. And I was going to put it in, was it this one gonna be the temporary pot? Oh, I did have the dragon scale in this one before. I switched it out to a different one. I can either put it in here or I can put it in here. What do you think? Delta Force, you know, kind of Star Wars-ish, and is this color a little more like Star Wars-y? I'm gonna put it in this for now. Like I said, the good thing about having all the cover pots fitting the same insert is you can swap them out easily. This one, I purposely didn't add water yesterday because I know I'm gonna be doing the repot today. Look at the roots. That's what I love to see. Not those wispy, dangling, you know, dying roots from those alocasias. I know they're different plants, their roots don't look the same, and Anthurians are known to have these very robust, chunky, big roots. Ah, I love my root porns. It's so interesting how the roots decide to grow. Like it squeezed itself through those little openings on the side. Gosh, that's the part that makes me feel a little sad, is I know I'm going to be losing some of those chunky roots that's, you know, sticking out from those very narrow openings. And again, for this one, I think just keep the same substrate, and maybe some perlite will get mixed into it. That's fine. Not getting too picky or technical about that. Ugh, a piece of chunky roots fell off. Oh God. Now it's like completely upside down, but still not doing anything. Oh, I'm gonna be breaking off so much root off of this guy. I'm just trying to, even if it has to break, I want to try and break the least amount. Okay, it's moving a little bit with my fingers in there, propping it up. Yeah, that part is not going to go through that tiny little hole. So just saying. And the broken off roots is not really that bad to the plant. They really bounce back and grow new roots in no time after each repot. All my anthuriums have been that way. Oh God. I'm trying to find what is the part that's still stuck in there. Oh my God, almost forgot this new leaf. I don't want to squash it. That will actually make me more upset. Oh my God, finally. See, I said this part is not going to come out, and these break off too. But we still have a ton of ramen noodle or udon noodle level roots. Oh geez, these are just, looks so interesting. So yeah, let's take a quick look at this very, very chunky root system. Everything looks really healthy and I'm happy. So yeah, let's get the repot going. And again, leaf retirement, the baby leaf, it's time for you to go. And this one's yellowing too, so I'm gonna be pulling it off as well. I can keep maybe this one on for a bit longer, or should I just, I'll just get rid of this one too, because I do want to plant this part into the substrate as well. You can see there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 6 little nubs that we can grow more roots from. Pull this up a little. So let's see how deep we want to go. Oh, I wanted to go deeper, so sorry, come out. All right, almost there. And did we say that this is the last repot? Most likely. So here is the repot for this Delta Force, the actual Delta Force. So I think that's it for today's video. Let me take off these gloves so I know we're officially done. I think that's gonna be it for today's video. I already have way more than enough to edit everything together into one cohesive piece. And I hope you had fun following along with my repotting and listening to me yapping and just chatting randomly about my products. And again, at the end of it, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been so supportive since the beginning. If you're new here and you've been watching this whole video till this point, I'm gonna say congratulations. You made it through the first one of my torture to you. And I look forward to see you again in the next video. And I'll also kindly ask all of my subscribers to go over to my Instagram and give me a follow so you can stay updated on all the little things that goes on in my day-to-day life regarding to my shop, my plants, and me. Yep. All right, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Time to say goodbye.